can't find it. Although I experienced one of the most miserable weeks in my life during the summer of '45, I experienced one of the most joyful days of my life in that same summer. One day in early September, I was walking back to the store after lunch at my grandfather's house when suddenly cars began running up and down the street, their horns honking repeatedly. When I got to the store, I was told about the announcement on the radio. The Japanese had surrendered. The war was over.
Feet to the Fire Writers Workshops for Seniors was started in 2015 as a writing workshop to help elders experience a sense of accomplishment, recall and write their life stories, enrich mental awareness, and increase well-being. Since our pilot program began, we have grown to reach more than 450 elders in 80 workshops in Louisville, Kentucky. Feet to the Fire currently serves elders in senior care facilities, senior day centers, churches, and wellness communities. We reach elders as a means to offer them the chance to write their own story. The results are amazing.
Just because I can remember, it makes me feel better about myself, that I can remember all these, that I can pull up all these things and record them.
It brings back what makes up your life. The experiences, the high times, the hard times, all of that goes in the fabric of your life. Putting it together, I can sometimes see how one story kind of leads into another, and it's good for my memory.
The way that the workshop works is a facilitator leads a small group of writers every week for 6 weeks approximately. They are guided with prompts. They have homework essentially every week to write their stories down. And most importantly, they're able to connect and gather together every week in a way that is very intimate and close.
Quite often, I find that the same day we have class, I am intrigued to find out what it is in the prompt that I want to work with. And I quite often start writing that same day.
It's important to feel that you have a purpose. And it's also, you know, when you get older, you feel like, well, you fulfill your purpose. And then you find out there are other things you can do. And it makes you feel worthwhile.
I've always had some kind of a purpose. But purposes have been difficult to come by. When I don't have a brief to write or a nastygram to send somebody, we all need a purpose in life. Otherwise, why bother?
Feet to the Fire Writers Workshops provides a meaningful program for aging adults. The cognitive benefits of writing, reminiscing, and doing so in small, intimate groups yields positive social results and can help people feel better.
Most of us haven't thought of writing a story. We seldom even write letters, right? We write emails. Maybe a postcard every now and then, but to really sit and write a story does push us to do something that's a little bit out of that groove. It's not in that rut, it's not in that habit.
This gives me a chance to do more than just the letter writing, but to actually search in my mind for things the children and I might want recorded.
It is affirming, it's confidence building, it's stimulating, and it really gives energy.
It's increased my confidence level considerably. I didn't used to be able to read them very well at all. I would muss it all up and stammer and stutter. So I've gotten a whole lot braver and probably obnoxious. I break into conversations now with something I think is interesting or funny.
Our mission is simple: acknowledge the individual and help them live fully through their irreplaceable stories.
One of the things is the way that it has taken me from place to place to place to place.
It was a wonderful way to travel.
Oh, you are my sister in the railroad. Yes. I've been with you every bit of the... Tell them about how it sounds on a zero morning, that steam engine whistle.
Oh, listen. Woo! Now that I've remembered to write about certain times of my life, I can put the me that I was as a girl and the me that I was as a young woman and as a middle-aged woman and now an old woman. I'm sort of integrating myself, and I feel better about that.
I wouldn't think at 97 there's a whole new world to open up, but yeah.
The whole notion of being able to close out something is so important to legacy, to not having regrets, to being able to perhaps reframe something that happened early in our life, compassion for self, forgiveness. I think the writing really gives that opportunity.
It's a psychology course almost. We are looking back over things that were fun, some things were not, and some there were problems. And it's very healthy. You face things more, and sometimes it is more. You have more perspective, definitely, about events and people in your family.
The value, as far as I'm concerned, is that all of a sudden I take pleasure in pursuing memories.
What I loved about the writing workshop is that it was a commitment to a place and time that is learning, developmental. It has the intellectual component, it has the spirituality component. It really has a lot to offer to the adult, and it's adult.
We provide an excellent solution for decreasing loneliness and isolation, which boosts emotional well-being.
I've got a couple people in the program that they rarely do anything else, but they definitely look forward to every Monday, knowing that it's feet to the fire. And when they're in the group, they're making friends, maybe people that they know from the dining room or whatever, but have never really talked to. In the writing group, they get to know more about them, and that creates friendships.
Stories are precious because people are precious, and that's important to understand. It has nothing to do with how educated someone is. It has to do with your experiences and the fact that you have these experiences and you actually bother and care to write them down and share them with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends, and for future generations.
I wish that I had had one paragraph from my grandparents. A letter even. I don't even have letters from some families save everything. My family saved nothing.
In this population, some people don't have a very good short-term memory, but their long-term memory runs very deep.
I'm amazed at my lack of yesterday's memories. But 70 years ago, I remember that.